I like that, too.
Key's Real Rankings.
All right, Key, what do you have for us today?
Well, I got my Key Real Rankings, top 5 playoff teams that could potentially not return to the postseason. You see how I did that?
Could. Okay, could.
Yeah, they could not.
Not. Could not. Okay.
Could not.
All right.
Doesn't mean that they're, you know what I'm saying. Kick it off, Yates.
Number 1.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers sit at number 1. We don't know what's going on with the coordinating position. Byron Leftwich was fired along with many other players coaches on that team. Tom Brady has yet to make a decision on whether or not he returns to the Buccaneers or another team for that matter. We don't know what's going on with the defense. Leonard Fournette. There's a ton of players that may not return, so they sit at number 1.
Number 2.
The Minnesota Vikings. That defense certainly did not live up to snuff. The offensive side of the ball with Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook and company and Thielen, they lived up to something. They put points on the board all year long. Kirk Cousins may have thrown the ball a couple times to the other team, but for the most part, offensively, they got the job done. Defensively, they did not. We don't know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers in that division. Detroit's only getting better, so we'll see.
Number 3.
Number 3, I know we go crazy. The Jacksonville Jaguars and Doug Peterson, and we love Trevor Lawrence. Oh, my God, sunshine is the best thing since sliced bread. But the Tennessee Titans, once they figure things out, Vrabel and company could fight for that division again. Let's see what happens with Indianapolis. They have a decent roster, shore up the offensive line, see what the head coach is going to be, and they got to find a quarterback. So that division can be tough next season depending on what happens there. Jacksonville couldn't maybe not make it.
Number 4.
The New York Giants ahead of schedule. Now, when you look at this, the Dallas Cowboys, the Washington Commanders, the New York Giants, and then obviously the Philadelphia Eagles are all stacked in that division. The Eagles and the Cowboys, to me, are better than the other two teams. The Giants are certainly on their way. But what happens with Daniel Jones? Do they honestly pay him $40+ million a year? Do they make Saquon Barkley one of the top 2 highest paid running backs? Do they shore up the offensive line, get defensive help? We don't know, but right now they sit at number 4.
Number 5.
Now here comes a head scratcher. Are you out of your mind, Keyshawn? What do you know? Why are you even on the show? Why is the show named after you? All of those sort of things on Jay's Twitter will start to trend after I say this team, the Buffalo Bills. Now think about it. Josh Allen, America's quarterback, big, strong, piercing through the wind. Everything was aligned for them this year. It did not work out. You think about 9 months ago, 10 months ago, what did we think? That they would be in the Super Bowl? Instead, they'll be at the Super Bowl in the stands watching with the rest of us. Josh Allen is still there. Stephon Diggs is still there. The running game is the running game. It hadn't gotten any better. Von Miller comes back healthy, hopefully helps him on the defensive side. But there's a lot of hope and help and what ifs and all that. I just look at the division. Tom Brady could wind up in Miami. Ooh, Aaron Rodgers could wind up with the Jets. Ooh, we just got Bill O'Brien back in the division to help Mac Jones out. And then once that happens, that division gets tougher. They had a stranglehold on the division over the last couple years. I don't know that that'll be the case in the 2023 season.
Jay, what do you think?
A lot of ifs there on the AFC East, though.
I mean, that's what's there.
I firmly believe that Sean McDermott's job is trending towards the hot seat, right? Because you have to do it sooner or later. And the questions around the offense is there since losing Brian Dable for the first year. That's a big gap. I think that's important to say, considering Josh Allen wasn't all the way himself coming from last year. But to say they're not going to make the postseason, if they don't make the postseason, then that's nuclear, Max. That's nuclear.
I would say this.
May not.
Here's why I disagree with
yeah, could
Key.
not.
Could not.
Key, I got a couple
I got
with
you.
this list. I got a couple problems, okay?
Yeah.
Here, and it's
What else
based
is
on
there?
this philosophy. If you got a quarterback and you got a coach, you got real ones, you're good basically every year. Not every year, but like usually you're going to make it. So I look at the Jags. You got Peterson and Trevor Lawrence. They're both good. The Doug Peterson team with a real quarterback, and I think Trevor Lawrence is one, I think you're making the playoffs, period. The Giants have Dable. And what is Daniel Jones? I think Daniel Jones is pretty good. Now, they have a lot of holes to fill, so I get putting the Giants on this list, but that's the caveat. And the Bills, what do you think of McDermott without Dable, right? That's the big question mark because Josh Allen is excellent. So I look at the Jaguars and the Bills and think, I think they're both making it. And I look at the Giants and think, maybe. So those are my beefs.
I'm okay with the Jags,
the Giants, of course, you're going to look at the Giants and say maybe. The Giants got a lot of holes. They were ahead of schedule.
Yeah, no
It was
doubt.
an evaluation year for them, and then they hit and it was like, oh, okay, we could do this. You don't know that's the case.
Yeah, they might win
year.
9 games again and really be a better team, but still be sitting on 9 and miss the playoffs.
At home.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings, we don't know what their defense is going to be. Okay, we have no idea when Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love is going to be in Green Bay. I certainly believe that Chicago will be a much better team, and so will Detroit. When you talk about the Bills, for instance, and I hear what you're saying, Jay, there's a lot of ifs within the. I'm laying it as if these ifs are happening.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm forecasting Tom Brady in Miami or a better, healthier quarterback in Miami. Whether it's Tua, whether it's Tom Brady, whether it's Carr.
You got McDaniel.
I'm also thinking about Bill O'Brien in a shaping of the New England Patriots staff as a whole, not just on the offensive side of the ball, but also on the defensive side of the ball with Bill Belichick. Mac Jones will be a much better quarterback under Bill O'Brien than he was under 2 guys that never called plays before on the offensive side of the ball. I'm looking at the New York Jets going all in to get Aaron Rodgers to come over. Now, when you stack the deck like that in that conference,
it looks different.
It's a different division. It's a different division. It makes things much harder for the Buffalo Bills, who's had a stranglehold on the division over the last 3 years.
If that's the case, if all those hypotheticals pan out, then I'm with you. It's a hypothetical list.
It's not,
because if the Jets get Aaron Rodgers, and then you talk about Derek Carr, somebody goes Tom Brady to Miami.
What if Derek Carr goes to the Jets? Does it make Jets a tougher team within that division and conference?
Not better than the Bills.
Absolutely.
I would say yeah.
Absolutely, 100%.
Derek Carr and the Jets does not make the Jets better than the Bills. Bills were
I don't know that. I personally don't know that.
The division a lot better.
I really don't know that because if the Jets had a quarterback, the Jets would have probably been knocking on the door of an AFC Championship game.
Well, knocking on the door of the playoffs.
Knocking on the door. Knocking on the door if they had a quarterback.
You can say, though, for the Bills, though, that their entire secondary was hurt for most of the year.
I understand.
Von Miller, the D-line, everybody gets back in there, get healthy. That's still one of the top defenses in the league.
We could point to the Jets' offensive line was banged up. We could point to the fact they lost Breece Hall.
Yeah.
We could point to the fact that they had a young receiver in Garrett Wilson that will be better his second time around.
Yeah, you're right.
So there's a lot of points, too. I could point to if Tua was playing healthy for the Miami Dolphins, you will be wearing what color they wear.
But Josh Allen is one of those Superman quarterbacks.
Yeah, you would be wearing teal and orange, celebrating them going to the Super Bowl. I can point to all those things.
Josh Allen is not a regular quarterback; he's extra. Derek Carr is regular. All the other guys are regular.
Max, they scored 10 points in the playoffs, man. In the
I
divisional
understand,
game.
but you're going to tell me Josh Allen's not awesome? He's not Mahomes. You think he's not awesome? He's awesome.
They scored 10 points on offense in the divisional game.
You take Derek Carr, I'll take Josh Allen.
That's taking one data point and applying it towards the whole thing about Josh Allen. Yeah. I hear that you may not be a big Josh Allen fan, but Josh Allen is still
the Bills to win the whole month of January. What are you talking about, Jay?
So is your point that he's not the elite of the elite?
That's not the point.
Jay won the argument by
Max,
saying data point.
I'm talking to Jay.
He said data point, and I carried the day. It sounded so fresh. One data point.
By saying data point, that means I win.
Yes, he said data point.
Max is the judge for some reason.
These rankings are brought to you by Dell. For your small business needs, call a Dell Technologies Advisor today.
Talking to this dude, man.
877-ASK-DELL. Hey, 888-SAY-ESPN.
It's like
Can you still win?
It's a race to talk with this kid.
Without a guy who one day will be considered.
Defense to a degree,
those are nice defense.
Brad Johnson, historic defense.
Historic defense.
Right? Same thing. Nick Foles.
The defense was good, but they also came up creative from Doug Peterson on a couple plays that changed the outcome of the game.
That's my point. So what percentage would you say?
I probably would say 50-50, to be honest with you.
50-50?
I would.
Just do the numbers. It's not 50-50.
It's like 30-70.
Here's what I would say. The problem that you have is bad quarterbacks are on bad teams. That's part of the problem. That's why they go out to get good quarterbacks. If Tom Brady was on this San Francisco 49er team, you never know what might happen.
Yeah.
And he might not even need it to do nothing but stay healthy. If Brock Purdy just stayed healthy, maybe it's a different outcome.
Price in Hampton,
Maybe
Virginia.
It's a different outcome.
Price in Hampton, Virginia. You're on with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I got to agree with all of y'all. Max is right. You do have to have an MVP caliber quarterback to make it to the Super Bowl in today's game. But Key is right, too. You don't have to have it to win it. And, Jay, you missed one person from your list.
Who?
Trent Dilfer from the Baltimore Ravens.
Dilfer's the ultimate example.
Yeah, I missed him by 1 year because I went 20 years out. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. My mind goes to Trent Dilfer when I think, can you still win a Super Bowl if Trent Dilfer's your quarterback?
What year was that? What year was that, Max?
You're going back to what?
You're going like 21 years ago. So all I'm saying is, where has the game of football gone since then?
That's what I'm asking.
Like the game has been more volume possessions,
yes,
more offense, more quarterbacks airing the ball out, more air raid systems.
And boy, Key, I know you can. Trent Dilfer can have a great game. Like in hockey, they'll say a goalie standing on his head, right? So he could stand on his head in a sense, in the football sense, as a quarterback and go nuts, and you can win it, but you got to get there too. So can you, Trent Dilfer's your quarterback. You ain't got nothing on the roster more talented than him at quarterback. You have a loaded team. Can you still win the Super Bowl? And by that we mean, is it possible? Of course there's a possibility. Everything breaks right, but it's very small. Like at a